Hello, everyone. So this is going to be a little interesting today, guys. We are broadcasting live both on our Facebook page and on our Instagram page, which is why we're sitting here so close together, and you might see us looking back and forth. But thanks for joining us.
Yeah, so whether you're on Instagram or Facebook, just bear with us as we go through things. But comment below and let us know that you're joining us and where you're coming from. And I think that we should have a competition today about who has the coldest weather today. So
Ooh, good idea.
I think Helena, last time I checked, was 13 below. So comment down below and tell us what the weather is where you are, and maybe we'll send something really cool to the person who wins.
Like a blanket.
That's what I need.
So it's been cold. The weather's been cold. Yeah, she does like blankets. The weather's been cold, but the issues are getting hot, so we're going to jump right in. Please do, like Rachel said, share what your temperature is, where you're watching from. As always, type your questions in. We'll do our best to answer them as we go along. It will be a little difficult for us to see them because we had to push the cameras back so far to be able to talk to you. But we're going to, like I said, we're going to jump right in. We have a lot to talk about this week, so we'll go through this as fast as we can, but we'd be happy to answer questions further. And always remember that members are receiving a weekly update. Your total list of bills will be sent out later today, everything we've worked so far this session, and we're going to start working on our next print letter next week as well.
Yep, so you'll get those, and the print letter comes in the mail, and then your legislative e-source will come to your inbox. As always, check your junk mail if you're not getting it, because they, for whatever reason, really love to go there. So, yes. And if you're not getting it still, give us a call and we'll try and fix that problem.
That's right. Why don't you start us off with the really exciting news for the week?
There was a lot of exciting stuff.
The first bill signed that we want to talk about.
Yeah, so it was so exciting. This week the governor got to sign his very first bill from this session. It was Senate Bill 65, which, if you guys have been tuning in, you have heard us talk about a lot. That one had to do with revising civil liability laws. And Montana Farm Bureau did support that one. It was one of the first bills we testified on, and we supported it from the whole way through as it went through both the House and the Senate. And so it got to the governor's desk this week, and he signed it, and he had a big ceremony for it. We were really excited to see that. We were excited to see that his first bill was such an exciting bill, and one that's really meaningful for all people in Montana, especially the Montana Farm Bureau members. So
it's a really good deal for business, and that means it's good for all of us because it's going to really help us start getting on that path to getting back to normal.
Absolutely. So that was great, and I got to watch that while we were standing in the Capitol, so it was a good part of the week for sure, and definitely a positive note to start this on. So I don't think we need to go into too much depth on what the bill does.
But we want to start out with a cheer.
Yes.
Yay!
So thank you to the governor and all the sponsors that worked on that bill. It was very much appreciated.
Senator Fitzpatrick carried that one, and the Montana Chamber was a big driving force behind that. So congratulations to all of them.
Absolutely.
So I'll talk about some tax bills. We went from something exciting to something that people might not think is quite as exciting, but is really impactful to Montana businesses and farmers and ranchers alike. So the governor's tax package came out this week. All 6 of his tax bills had hearings, and we were able to support many of them. I'm going to touch on 3 of them that are particularly impactful to farmers and ranchers. The first one is House Bill 303, which is sponsored by Representative Kastmeyer, and it is a business equipment tax relief bill. As you know, we've been working on this issue for a long time. It's something we've been chipping away at, but this bill is really going to give us some meaningful tax relief because it raises the exemption from $100,000 to $200,000. So that means any equipment that you own, business equipment, which is Class 8 property, that is valued at $200,000 or less will not be taxed. Anything you have above that will still be taxed, but you have twice as large of an exemption now. So yes, I understand that just a tractor and a air seeder can set you back probably more significantly than that, but it is still something that provides tax relief to all farmers and ranchers. We were very proud to be able to support that. It's a complete bill, because one concern when we do this is that when you reduce property tax, you have the potential to reduce the funds for local governments, because property tax funds local government. This bill provides a backfill and will keep our counties and our local governments whole. So this is the complete package. It's a tax cut for farmers and ranchers, and continues to allow services to be provided in our local communities. So very excited about that one. It had a ton of support, and we hope to see it moving quickly. The next one that was also heard that same day on Tuesday is House Bill 252, which is sponsored by Representative Jones out of Conrad. It is a bill that provides a $2,000 tax credit to employers per employee if they send those employees to technical or trades education of some sort. And it's outlined in the bill which types of trades qualify, but many of them are very important to farmers and ranchers. Things like welders, mechanics, cement layers, electricians. You know, there's a lot of things we do on the farms and our farms and our ranches ourselves, but there's sometimes we need to hire some of this important labor to be done. And we all know how difficult it can be to find someone who has the time and the skills to do that. So we're really excited that this bill will provide incentives to get even more people trained in these important trades. So that's a great one. Again, had a wide variety of support, and we hope to see that one moving quickly as well. I would note that our very own Vice President, Cindy Johnson, zoomed in and supported both of those bills that morning. So it was great to have some direct input from the country too. So thank you, Cindy. And the last one I'll talk about, just because we need to keep going on, is Senate Bill 159. It is sponsored by Senator Hertz, and it reduces the income tax from 6.9% to 6.75%. It's a small reduction, but it's a tax cut nonetheless. And it's something that will allow farmers and ranchers and all income earners, really, anyone with, this is for income in that top tax bracket, but it's a very wide bracket. It applies to income over $18,700. That's the level for 2020 anyways. It's something that's indexed by inflation. So my point of saying that is it's a relatively low threshold. Everything over that gets a tax break. So we all know that when we have a few extra dollars in our pockets, we can use those to improve our farms and ranches, support our local businesses, and do some things to support our families. So that was a no-brainer and an easy one, and a very happy one to support. So we thank the governor for bringing these important bills and the sponsors for carrying them. The governor's intention is to make this a lot more business-friendly climate. And, I think these bills are really going to help do that and really stimulate our economy. So excited for that, and let your legislators know that you want these bills to be passed. It's a really good opportunity to let them know that you can support them.
And we've got a really easy way that you can do that. If you head to our website and you go towards our policy and advocacy tab, and down below there's a voter voice tab. And there's some stuff on there that makes it really easy for you. All you have to do is enter in your information. Voter voice will pull up who your legislators are, and they will, and you can write your message and ask them to support those tax bills. So that's a really easy way to do that. And if you wait until later today when you get your legislative e-source, there will be a link on there to get you directly to that, so you can go and let your legislators know how you feel. And with that too, I just want to remind everyone, as bills come up and Farm Bureau is supporting them, we always are happy to have members input on them and be able to testify. So as some really big ones come up, keep an eye out for different action alerts. And we can hopefully get you set up so you can testify. It's always great to have membership give their input. The legislators, I know they love hearing from Nicole and I so much, but I think they love hearing from members even more. So keep your eyes out for things like that. I'll just kind of quickly go over a couple of the bills that are sort of just working their way through their process right now.
Can I add one thing
Sure.
on that?
Yeah.
Sorry. This is unscripted. I wanted to remind you all that you don't have to have us sign you up. Mm-mm. You can go to the legislative website, leg.mt.gov, and right in the middle of the homepage, there's a tab that says register to testify remotely, and you can get yourself registered for any hearing, but we're always happy to help you with that. So if there's something that you are thinking about testifying on, and you want our input, or you have a question, just reach out and we'll be happy to help you with that. But remember, you have that opportunity, and it's really encouraged.
Absolutely. So anyway,
now back to the regular schedule program.
So these are some bills that you guys have heard about before, and they either got transferred to the other chamber. So the first one we'll talk about is House Bill 142, which was also brought by Representative Kazmaier, and that has to do with the hemp regulations and allowing the Department of Ag here in Montana to keep the hemp at the same regulatory level as USDA does it. So a pretty simple bill. The way I saw
really
it,
important.
It's very important, and generally seemed to be liked a lot by Senate Ag this week. So that was one of the ones, and then after that one in Senate Ag, we heard House Bill 94, which was brought by Representative Walsh, and that one was actually a really big bill in the previous session that talked about student loans and creating more opportunities for students to get some help with their loans so that they can go back to the farm or ranch. So we obviously really support that. We really appreciate and want to see students being able to go back to the ranch and being able to afford to pay off their debt from college. So this bill this year just added a really small fix to it so that it could include different kinds of loans. So again, that was pretty well received by the committee this week in the Senate as it already passed the House. The next one was Senate Bill 58, and that one just has to do with some livestock loss funds to be transferred to increase the ability for non-lethal prevention for large game like wolves and grizzly bears.
It's new money. That's the exciting thing. Senator Cuff has long been a supporter of the livestock loss program, and so he's again trying to get another $100,000 into that important program to be used for prevention of predation. There's separate accounts involved here. One goes to help reimburse ranchers or farmers when they have livestock killed, and then there is also the fund to help prevent it. And so he's working on prevention this time, and there's still funds available for the mitigation side too, to help pay people back. So really good stuff there.
Yeah, absolutely. And then the last bill that was just another one that had been moved over to the other house was House Bill 144. This was one of a few bills that touched on the local health officials' authority to remove law enforcement. As we've talked about before, this was very timely because of new policy that came through our policy development process. So that one was heard in the Senate this week, and again was pretty well received. So I know that was kind of quick, but there's a lot of other big bills. I just want to get you guys kind of like a quick update on some of the things that were coming through.
So I'll quick talk about some appointments, and then I'll switch it back over to Rachel to talk about some bison bills that were heard. It's appropriate that we're bouncing back and forth because yesterday we had a whole bunch of hearings. Well, we had 2 hearings with a whole bunch of bills in Senate Ag and House Ag, and we were bouncing back and forth, but we got them all covered, which was great. So a few appointments to mention. Last week, we supported Mike Foster for his confirmation to the Department of Ag Director. On Monday, we got to support Amanda Castard for her nomination to the Director of Department of Natural Resources and Conservation. And then on Thursday, there was a bunch of confirmation hearings for Board of Livestock and other boards under the Department of Livestock. And many of those have our members on them. And so we were very excited to get to support our members, including Jean Curry and Alan Redfield to the Board of Livestock. The Livestock Loss Board appointees included a member during Gillespie. I'm going off the top of my head now, watch out. The Milk Control Board has a Farm Bureau member on there, Stacy Ketchum. We congratulate her. And the Hale Hail Insurance Board, being Von Bergen. We got to support him as well. So those were just heard in the Senate, and the way the process works is the governor appoints, and then the Senate confirms. So they will have the chance to, the committee will confirm, and then it will go out to a floor vote. And so we're excited to move those through the process.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you know any of those folks or you're friends with them, be sure to reach out and give them a huge congratulations, because we love seeing our Montana Farm Bureau leaders in these great leadership positions and really doing a great job of representing different parts of the industry.
And also reach out to your senators and tell them to give them the thumbs up.
Absolutely. So we talked about some stuff in House Ag this week as well, and there were two bills that had to do with bison and how they're moved from Yellowstone National Park to different tribal entities. And Farm Bureau took this. We did oppose those bills, and our point was that the health of these animals is extremely important, and sometimes when they come out of Yellowstone National Park, there's a high risk of brucellosis, and there's a holding facility that's close by the park that keeps these animals in a space that is just for infected animals, and it's part of the DSA, the Designated Surveillance Area, which is where there's infected herds in the state. And I'm gonna make sure that everything I say is right, so if Nicole jumps in, just know it's because I'm a little bit new to this stuff and she has some history with it.
Well, let me just add a little background. Rachel did a great job on those bills while I was upstairs in Senate Ag. And as she learned that there's a lot to this issue. The situation here is that when, as Rachel said, there is a established program that our Department of Livestock has a governance over, and they cooperate with the federal government as well. And they quarantine Yellowstone Park bison and test them until they can prove that they are brucellosis free. And this is a long ordeal because sometimes infection of brucellosis can be delayed. And so they have a very detailed protocol in place to make sure, as Rachel noted, that any of those buffalo that they release from the facility are in fact brucellosis free. Sometimes those bison are transferred to tribal entities, but it's only done after they have been certified brucellosis free by our state vet. The two bills that were heard yesterday in two different ways tried to remove that important step. And so we oppose that because there's a great process in place right now that ensures our livestock industry is able to, have minimal threats from these bison coming out of the park, and also, provides truly brucellosis-free bison when they get through the program. So we just really believe that those safeguards are important to keep in place, and that's why we oppose the bills.
Absolutely. Disease management is a priority for all of us, especially for those people who have livestock and want to be able to have the opportunity to ship those livestock out of state and ensure that they're disease free. So if we can maintain the wildlife disease management programs and the control of it, then we can help our livestock industry as well. So
yeah, and many of you remember the days when we lost our brucellosis free status as a state and have subsequently had to do lots of things like implement the designated surveillance area, which has had major impacts on ranchers in those areas. And also, at the time we lost our free status, there were a lot of economic impacts to producers who were trying to move cattle out of the state. So those are things we need to avoid in the future. So what are those bill numbers?
So there was House Bill 311 as well as House Bill 312. So 311 and 312 heard in House Ag yesterday.
Yes. I would say they had a very fair hearing, and it was long, and we will be awaiting the committee's action.
Absolutely.
So now I'll talk about the other bill that was heard in there that
Yes.
day, unless we want to save that for last. Is there anything else we want to talk about? I think this is a pretty extensive report so far. So
keep letting us know if you have questions. And this was a really busy week. You can see from the board behind us, we write down a lot of the stuff that we're working on. It's not even everything. And you can see that our Tuesdays and Thursdays are so full that the board was starting to run out of room. So
Yes.
long-winded update here, but I think it's really important. So
yesterday was a long-winded day. We started the day with a standing meeting we have every Thursday at 7 o'clock, and I think we walked out of the building at 7 a.m.
Yeah.
We walked out of the Capitol building about 7 p.m. yesterday.
And we were pretty busy from start to finish, so
Yes.
we just want to make sure that you guys are getting all the information.
Yeah. So let's just finish up on the placarding bill. That was the last bill that was heard yesterday in House Ag. It's House Bill 324. And what it does is it would establish a so-called placarding program here in Montana. We oppose that bill, and it's for actually a few very simple reasons. What the bill actually does is require retailers to make an effort, which that's an interesting legal term to begin with, to post a placard, which would be like a sign, on beef and pork products detailing their origins. So the retailer has two options. They could label it born, raised, and processed in the United States, or they could label it imported / origin unknown.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's the only two options that were provided in the. Okay, so the problem with that is, I'll call you back in a second, Mike Murphy. The problem with that is that when a grocery store receives a box of beef, it comes in, it's boxed beef. It comes in primals, and they cut it down and use it further. Those boxes, the meat usually comes with a stamp on it. It's the USDA inspection stamp. That stamp only indicates that it was processed at a USDA inspected plant. So the grocery stores and real retailers do not actually have the information that they need to be able to label the product as born, raised, and processed in the United States, even though it likely is beef from a calf that was born here and fattened here and grown and then processed here as well. So, but they don't have that information with certainty. So they would be left in a situation where they would have to put up a placard that says imported or origin unknown. So if the goal of the legislation is to increase demand for beef and pork products, as I think is the stated intention, then we're very concerned that this type of placard, this type of sign, will actually discourage people from purchasing the beef and actually drive demand down for beef and pork, which is not what we want to do. We are very proud of the high quality product that we raise here in Montana specifically, but in the United States as well. We do believe it's a superior product. And we should do more to promote that, and I think there are ways that we can do that here in the state. But unfortunately, this bill is not the answer to that problem. So we opposed it. It is being touted as a country of origin labeling bill, which it is not. It is a placarding bill. I mean, we have to remember that country of origin labeling is a federal law, and whether this bill passes or not will not re-implement COOL either here or on the national scale. So that's a whole other discussion, and we are we're actually actively pursuing alternative options that are going to give us some much better and legal options for marketing. So we'll be looking forward to talking more with you about those as the details become more available. And just wanted to let you know that we will be opposing that because it is absolutely essential that we do everything we can to instill confidence in consumers, because we want them to be excited about buying pork and beef and all of the great meat and grain and vegetable products that we raise here in the U.S. And we want to instill confidence, not fear.
Absolutely. I can't even add to that. She said it so well.
What else can we say in general? Is there anything? What about questions?
Well, yeah. While you guys were thinking about questions,
Here's a good one.
Yeah.
Rhonda asks, which committee members are leaning towards supporting House Bill 311 or 312? I'd say that's, you want to answer that question?
Yeah, I think, so, it was in front of the House Ag Committee, and I'm not sure if it's, it's best to go through, like, specific legislators, but you can go on the legislative website and look through the House Ag Committee members, and it's always great to and if one of them is your legislator, it's great to reach out to them and let them know how you feel about that bill. And then if there's any that like you might know, or, as a farmer or rancher, you're more than welcome to speak out to them, as a constituent for the House Ag Committee, and let them know what you think about it as well.
Yes. And same goes with this, placarding bill. They heard a lot of testimony from proponents that were farmers and ranchers that just, were, they're looking for some sort of, marketing opportunity. But I think it's really important that they hear from our farmer and rancher members to tell them that, like, I'm a rancher and I am opposed to this bill because it will actually reduce demand for our product, and we need a real solution here. So, please do reach out to the House Ag Committee and let them know your thoughts.
Yeah. So if anyone else has other questions, I just wanted to kind of point out the obvious. Like, this week was a lot busier than it has been, which is really good. We're hoping to see all the bills coming through to be introduced by the middle of next week, and have an opportunity to be heard, and then we'll hit transmittal date. So I think we'll be just as busy next week. Hopefully, can never make too many good guesses around here, but expect a lot more of what's going on and keeping updated. And like we said before, reach out to us, make sure that you are getting your voices heard. If you have questions about the process or how you can find out about bills, please let us know. The legislative website is so helpful and has so much great information, but with that can definitely be confusing sometimes. So we want to make sure that you guys as Farm Bureau members are getting an opportunity to share what you think and share your voice in your own way. So
yep. Well, we've got to get on to the next thing. I've got a meeting at 1, and then we need to get up to the Capitol and share some really important information that we have become privy to on some bills coming up for next week. So we're going to sign off unless we see any last minute questions.
All right.
Thanks for joining
us.
Have
a good day. Stay warm.